Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you today for another video, and this is actually going to be for an Marathon Studio album review for the start of Demon Hunter's Marathon Studio album reviews that I'm going to be doing for the next 2 weeks or so for their whole discography, I guess you could say. So this is for their first album, their self-titled album, the 2002 album that I'm going to be reviewing for you guys this afternoon. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to. Sorry if I said I'm in a weird way. I'm just still trying to wake up a bit because I felt like I got good night's sleep, but I don't know if I did, but who knows. But still, I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this Demon Hunter self-titled album and let you know my thoughts on this 2002 album of theirs. So let's dive into this album review, I meant to say. Now, it starts with the first song, Screams of the Undead, and that was a pretty good song. I was really enjoying Ryan Clark's screaming potential in this track, meaning his scream vocals were really good. And basically, this was a banger for sure. I could definitely headbang to this song because this is a really good track. The instrumentation in it with the guitars and drum work and pretty much the mixing and production is pretty good. So 5 out of 5 for Screams of the Undead. Really enjoyed this track. I have seen Where It Grows is another good song from them. Really like this for sure. Don't have many complaints. There's some clean vocals in this track, but not as much. There's more screaming from Ryan Clark, and it sounds pretty good for what it's going for. So 5 out of 5 for this one as well. Infected was another one that I really enjoyed, but it had a little bit more clean vocals from Ryan Clark in this one, pertaining mostly to the chorus, I guess you could say. Or mainly the chorus, I meant to say. Sorry, I'm just slipping up with my wording today. But yeah, Infected was a pretty good track, and I highly recommend you check this song out too. It's pretty good on this album, so 5 out of 5 for this one. The guitars and drum work do pretty well in this track. And track number 4 is a song I did review on their Songs of Death and Resurrection. I guess it's an album, is what they're going by, what it is. This is for My Throat is an Open Grave. I really enjoyed the acoustic version, and I enjoyed this one too. The original is really good, for sure. It's shorter, but it does pretty good, because the longer version's like 5 minutes and some seconds. So this one was pretty good. The longer version meaning the acoustic version on Songs of Death and Resurrection, but I still enjoyed this track for what it went for too. So 5 out of 5 for My Throat is an Open Grave. Ryan Clark sounds good singing in it. He does some very monotoned and also very good clean vocals in this track, and it sounds pretty good. Through the Black is a pretty heavy track. It goes back to the more screamo stuff and more metalcore side of what they go for with this track, and it sounds really good. I really enjoyed this track. Pretty good song for sure. Basically, you get really good screams from Ryan Clark, and the guitars and drum work in it is really good. It's pretty heavy for sure, so 5 out of 5. Turn Your Back and Run. I really like how the chorus comes in with Turn Your Back and Run. It sounds really good, and the verses are pretty strong too for Ryan Clark screaming in it. But when he screams Turn Your Back and Run and something else he sings in it, this is an album I would definitely buy for sure because it's really good. So yeah, that's how much I enjoyed this album. It's probably one of the best albums I've heard in their discography so far. So far, at least. I still gotta listen to the rest of their discography because I just started this, of course. So yeah, Turn Your Back and Run is a really good track. Really enjoyed this song for what it went for, and 5 out of 5 for this one. And The Sky Went Red is a interlude. It's not very long. It's like 30 seconds long. So you're not in for a long interlude. It's just it has this background noise with this horse uh, yelling or whatever it was doing. I don't know, going na 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 kind of thing or whatever. It was weird. So 5 out of 5 for this one. But I still enjoyed how the mixing was with this track. As We Wept was a pretty good track. It comes in with Ryan Clark's screaming vocals in it, and it does very well with how it's sounding. And the drum work and guitar work in this is really excellent, so 5 out of 5. A Broken Upper Hand was probably my least favorite, but it still did very good. Meaning it did good in its own way, but it has a certain drum pattern at the beginning of it that I don't know if I can connect with. But other than that, some of the track can get a little iffy in some areas, but still 4.5 out of 5 for A Broken Upper Hand. The Gauntlet is the final song on the album, and it's a pretty good closing track. It's pretty mellow, but it's got some strong points with the drum work, and Ryan Clark's clean vocals in it sound really good. So there's no screaming in this track. It's pretty much a melodic rock, hard rock song, I guess you could say. But it does pretty well with what it goes for. It's just very melodic, so 5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution, I think Demon Hunter's self-titled album was really good. I had a good time listening to it. It was awesome, and I highly recommend you check this album out if you haven't listened to their discography yet, because this album is like 20 years old now as of this year, because it's 2022 and this album came out in 2002. So yeah, it's been 20 years now since this album's been out. But anyways, sorry about that ding. That's my phone or whatever dinging away. So overall, I think Demon Hunter's self-titled album, the 2002 album, was a really good album. Highly recommend you check this out. And for a score for me, I'm giving Demon Hunter's self-titled album a 9.5 out of 10. This was a really awesome album. Definitely rocks for sure. And definitely give these 10 tracks a listen. Because there's only 10 songs, but it's like under 40 minutes, I believe, of an album. So, still a pretty good album. So, with that being said, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the Demon Hunters self-titled album for their 2002 album if you've listened to it already. And if you enjoyed this album review for Demon Hunters self-titled album, keep in mind this is my first time going into their discography with an open mindset to see what I was going to think of it. And I'm actually enjoying the start of it. So tomorrow will be the next album. I might have it possibly record it and then premiere it. So definitely tune into that premiere when it comes out. I might record it this afternoon sometime after my live stream, of course, but still, if you did enjoy this Demon Hunter self-titled album review for their 2002 album, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Support the channel. I will have another review coming out as soon as I can for Demon Hunter's next album, Summer of Darkness, I believe is the next album that I'm going to be reviewing. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this Demon Hunter's self-titled album for their 2002 album. I did the best I could to make it as good as possible. And with that being said, stay safe, take care. There will be a live stream coming out around 3:30 or 4 o'clock, sometime around that time. But definitely tune into that live stream. And as always, I will see you in my next review.